Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com, and welcome to This Week in Prophecy. For topics this week, we've got Yom Kippur coming up at sundown. This is being recorded as of Sunday, September 24th, here in the West, Gregorian calendar. Yom Kippur begins at sundown today. It's already started in Israel. Hebrew year 5784, of course, 2023 on our calendar in the West. Other topics include Israeli and Saudi peace, both sides signaling that an imminent peace deal appears to be very close. Both sides publicly stating so. That'd be Israeli and the Saudis and the heads of their representative states. Mohammed Bin Salman with Saudi Arabia and Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel had some action, brief action in the Caucasus this week, and we had an Iran prisoner swap with the United States, so we'll get down to it. And again, brief overview, Day of Atonement is viewed as the holiest day of Judaism. It is a Sabbath, day of rest. Yom Kippur is the only appointment where a fast is required, so no eating, drinking. Well, probably drinking, I'm sorry. Appointment begins, as stated earlier, at sundown, and in today's case, it'd be sundown on Sunday. And it is also the last day of the 40-day period of Teshuvah, which started back in the beginning of the month of Elul. We are into Tishri 10. And for those of you who want to take a deeper dive, check out Leviticus 16 for the details of Yom Kippur, or the Day of Atonement. So also, I've got articles posted, going back to 2010 now, so 13, 14 years. PaulthePoke.com, keyword, here's the link, Yom Kippur. You can read some more things written about the holiday extensively. And with that, we're going to transition to 1 Thessalonians 5:13. While people are saying there is peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them as labor pains come upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. Now, I know that seems pretty counterintuitive to the world we live in. Everybody's all fired up. Even Benjamin Netanyahu is going to get some applause at the UN for wanting to make peace with the Saudis. Now, the world would let you think, hey, this is good. We're going to have some peace. Biblically speaking, when there's peace and security, or talks of peace and security as it relates to the end times, that's the time we need to be paying attention that, hey, things aren't kosher, if you will, and time to pay real attention when peace plans start flying around the world, especially when Israel's involved. So, counterintuitive to the world, God tells us as believers, hey, you need to pay real close attention when they start talking about peace. And here we go. We're going to move this to, this is Benjamin Netanyahu speaking at the UN. This clip's about a minute. I'll let it run. I highly recommend everybody clicking on it and listening to it. And the highlights of the statement, I'm sure he spoke for more than a minute, but we're on the cusp of a historic peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia, between Jerusalem and Mecca, between the descendants of Isaac and Ishmael. And, you know, it drew applause from those in the hall at the UN. As you can see, there were representatives from Saudi Arabia and Palestine. And that's where BB's getting a little applause right there. He's just sitting there and soaking it in. When's the last time you heard Israel get applauded for anything at the UN? So they say they're close. They're both talking about it, both Israel and then we have ancient Sheba and Dedan. That'd be modern day Saudi Arabia. And that's going to be a theme of today's This Week in Prophecy. All the key players of Ezekiel 38 and 39, the ancient prophecy from Ezekiel where Russia and friends, Turkey, Iran, and others, arguably Libya, Sudan, Ethiopia, will invade, along with their proxies, will invade Israel from the north and at some point in the future. All of these people, all of these lands, ancient peoples in modern day countries, they dominate the news this week. So we're going to take a look at ancient Sheba and Dedan. That's modern day Saudi Arabia. And I did create a link from the interview with Mohammed bin Salman. Bret Baier, Fox's Bret Baier, sat down, and what we got was a 30-minute interview. And the thing that I was blown away by, Mohammed bin Salman, very straightforward, straight shooter. Um, Actually, we got some actual content out of the guy. Has excellent command of the English language, and again, this thing is loaded with significant content. And here are the topics: G20 rail imports from India to Europe. Now, those of you who are not familiar with that, there will be some maps included in the video. But effectively, it's importing goods from India to Europe via the Arabian Peninsula, goes through Saudi Arabia, goes through Israel, and distributed from, ports of Israel, specifically Tel Aviv. Uh, Also discussed normalized relations with Israel, relations with the United States and President Biden, Iranian relations and nuclear weapons, brief discussion on China, BRICS, and Russia, oil production, supply, and demand. Bin Salman takes his view of what oil means as far as OPEC and production and distribution and availability to the rest of the world. The assassination of Jamal Khashoggi and political dissent is discussed. Legal reforms, Saudi legal reforms. Also, I know there's lots of concern expressed within the United States regarding potential Saudi government involvement with 9/11. That is discussed. United States relations and relations with President Biden. Also talked about his previous relations with President Trump and specifically Jared Kushner and his business dealings. Saudi Arabia investment in sports, and that's a global thing. Now here in the United States, we get hung up a lot on the LIV and golf, or at least I have. But they are taking an active role as it comes to soccer, or what they call football, also Formula One racing, and they are providing sponsorship also in the English Premier League and soccer throughout the world. So they are becoming very active on the world stage in regards to sports, and they want to draw investment, they want to draw tourism, they want to draw people to Saudi Arabia. And the last thing that was discussed is security of the holy sites, Mecca, Medina in Saudi Arabia. My bad. And here's the link. Click on the link. Click on the button here. It's about 30 minutes, I believe. Well worth your listen. Actually, it's 32 minutes and 17 seconds. Guy's a straight shooter. Real command of all the facts. He's a business guy, knows his numbers, knows his stuff. But you can click on this and listen to this from right here. Also, another article from Fox News. Bret Baier interviews Saudi prince, Israel peace ties, Iran nuke fears, cannot see another Hiroshima. And here's what that article looks like. Link provided for this as well. There's about 12 minutes, some discussion with Baier and some other Fox personalities. Again, I think well worth your listen. Got a lot of content, a lot of interviews, things in this last week that were very interesting as it relates to peace in the Middle East. And then I don't get this. And then we had this from Recep Erdogan, president of Turkey. Erdogan denounces anti-Semitism and announces plans to visit Israel during meeting with Jewish leaders in New York. And he did it. I mean, he did it. Got together with Netanyahu. Now, a lot of this has to do with Erdogan. Turkey wants to be the middleman for all that Israeli gas. He wants to have that gas come through Turkey, pay a little toll fee as it goes west to Europe. I mean, so that's that to me is his take. That's what he wants to see happen. He wants to make a buck off all that gas. And they even talked about doing some joint drilling operations out in the Mediterranean. So fascinating. I mean, boy, you talk about a guy whose attitude's changed over the last 7 years. Especially since the time I've been doing this blog over the last 13 years or so, 14 years, is to see where this guy started just openly hostile to Israel, self-proclaimed caliphate of the Muslim world, of the, not the Shiite, but the Sunni Muslim world. Like he's the man for the caliphate. And now to the point where he's, anti-Semitism is a crime against humanity. Oh, really? Okay. He sees dollars, and again, we know what the future holds. I mean, he's going to be part of a coalition that wants to invade Israel. Now, will he be around to see that happen? I don't know the answer to that. If he is going to be one of those guys, along with Putin, I mean, both those fellows are into their 70s. I mean, so they're not, I mean, I guess they could live to be 90, but they both are reported with some health issues. And my point is if these two are going to be around when that goes down, as Ezekiel says, we are on a very short leash of time before that would come to pass. So here's the link to it. But I mean, this tweet they put out pretty much covers. There wasn't much in this article, but I always provide those for people who are interested as well. So we got that. We're going to transition to the Congo. So Congo, there was an attempt, a coup attempt. I may have that mixed up. I'll need to get to the bottom of that and clarify that. But the bottom line is Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix. I'm not even going to try to say Felix's last name. And let me get this roll. Two leaders announced that Israel will open an embassy in Kinshasa, and the DRC will move its embassy to Jerusalem. So there's another one moving their foreign embassy to Jerusalem. And I think there are about 3 minutes worth of comments from both these guys. Again, you got people reaching out to Israel, wanting to have open relationship, peace, business, economic opportunity with Israel. And man, times are changing. You get the sense we're going to have a flurry of that. And I guess going back to potentially with the Saudis, I've even seen some stuff like when that is finally announced, there may be 4, 5, 6, possibly up to 6 other countries that announce a peace plan or welcome to the Circle of Peace, the Abraham Accords. That'll be interesting. See how President Biden will play that, or if he's even around to discuss that. As far as what they're going to call it, Israel may change the semantics to the Circle of Peace. I've heard Netanyahu refer to that way as well. So who knows? But again, things are happening. Links provided. Ancient Magog. We're going to talk a little bit about them. Modern day Russia. Russia has released a list of friendly and neutral countries allowed to trade on its currency exchange market. Again, link provided. Here are the countries: China, Cuba, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia. There we go. Turkey, South Africa, a bunch of ex-Soviet republics, Azerbaijan. We're going to talk about them coming up here in just a little bit. Bangladesh, Bahrain, Belarus, Brazil, Venezuela, Vietnam, Egypt, India, Indonesia, Iran, Kazakhstan, Qatar, Kyrgyzstan, Malaysia, Morocco, Mongolia, Oman, Pakistan, Serbia, Tajikistan, Thailand, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. So I think there are 30 of them that Russia has deemed friendly and neutral, and they're going to be allowed to trade on its currency exchange market. So again, the world continues to separate economically, and this would be all of the BRICS countries are involved and considered friendly. So, had that list come out, look who's not on the list. That would be Israel. Prophetically significant. No surprise. Um, and all the groups that was Iran on there? Let me go back. They are on there. So yeah, all the countries that are going to join Russia and Turkey and friends, Iran, main players are there. Part of Ezekiel 38 and 39. So they're all present. They're all going to do business together. And this happened. This was brief. I don't even know if this even caught any. I didn't see any of it in our press, but that doesn't mean anything. Ancient Meshech, Tubal, Beth Dagarma, Gomer. That'd be modern day Caucasus and Turkey. So the lands between the Caspian and the Black Sea, Azerbaijan and Armenia have settled after a day or two of fighting. And so I'm going to go, before we get to the tweet, I'm going to go to this from the BBC. Here's the link to the BBC link right here. This is what this article looks like. Nagorno-Karabakh conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenians explained. Azerbaijan and ethnic Armenians in the breakaway region of Nagorno-Karabakh have declared a ceasefire 24 hours after Azerbaijan launched a military offensive. And so where is it? What led to the latest fighting? I think it was a couple of years ago they had a little scrape right around Yom Kippur as well. And here's the map. This is where this is located. So again, here's the black, here's the Caspian Seas. The gray country is Azerbaijan. You got Armenia flanked to the west, and this little area here in the red or light pink, whichever you want to call it, that's actually Armenian people, and they've lived there, and they're surrounded by Azerbaijan, and apparently they've settled. Here are the details. And this is from Nexta, largest European media outlet. Conflict, which had been simmering for more than 30 years, ended in 2 days with Azerbaijan's victory and restoration of control over its internationally recognized territory. Azerbaijani Defense Ministry said an agreement had been reached in Karabakh. The formations of the Armenian armed forces and illegal armed formations stationed in the Karabakh region are laying down their weapons. They leave their combat positions and military posts and fully disarm and leave the territory of Azerbaijan. Illegal formations will be disbanded. At the same time, all weapons and heavy equipment are to be surrendered. And here's what's interesting, that the implementation of these processes is ensured with coordination of Russian peacekeepers. It goes on to tell about the number of people injured and killed since the beginning of the escalation. Now, Turkey has a history of genocide with people in Armenia. I do want to go back and provide some context. We've covered some of this on the post here. Azerbaijan, well, both Azerbaijan and Armenia are both old Soviet. They were part of the old Soviet Union. Historically, recently, Turkey is allied with Azerbaijan, and Israel has an agreement, they're militarily, economically friendly with Azerbaijan. It's primarily a Muslim country. Armenia, primarily a Christian country, mostly has support from Russia. So you have, the regional politics. You have Russia supporting Armenia. However, they were the ones that brokered this, quote, they had the peacekeepers in there. Azerbaijan is friendly with Turkey and Israel, so a little bit convoluted with some of this. Now, Azerbaijan and Iran, like this is Iran right here. Well, this provides that. Iran borders Azerbaijan and parts of Armenia to the south, and they've threatened to go at it. Azerbaijan and Iran are not exactly friendly. And Turkey and Iran are not exactly friendly, but Russia and Iran are friendly. I mean, so it's a complicated political situation there. So, but anyway, that lasted about 24 hours. Looks like that part is no longer going to be considered part of Armenia, although those ethnic Armenians are living in there. I guess their security is going to be guaranteed back through here so they can get back to Armenia. I don't think we've heard the last of that, but just a thought. With that, we're going to transition to Persia, or modern day Iran. Was not much information on this in our United States press. No surprise. United States and Iran exchanged 5 prisoners. By the way, Iran also received $6 billion from Uncle Sam. Click on the link here. I chose Russia just because. It's like, what's Russia saying about this? U.S.-Iran prisoner exchange will not change relations between Tehran and Washington. No, of course not. Moscow believes that the exchange of prisoners between the U.S. and Iran will not radically change anything in relations between Tehran and Washington. And that's Sergei Ryabkov told this to Sputnik. Keep in mind, Sputnik is state-run media out of Russia. I don't think this particular agreement will radically change anything in terms of contradictions, certain confrontation on many platforms and in many stories. The U.S.-Iran situation speaks for itself. Geopolitics Live, White House has confirmed Iran has released U.S. prisoners. Got some video of it. No direct connection, but political signal as a certain element of demonstrating that mutual understanding is possible, allegedly. So, and the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, that's the Iran nuclear deal is another name for that. So, at any rate, that's kind of what we had this week. Lots of things going on. Again, Yom Kippur starts tonight at sundown, already started in Israel. Here in the United States, we're about 3.5, 4 hours from sundown. So if y'all find this interesting, please feel free to share with others at PaulthePoke.com. This will be categorized under Ezekiel 38:39, peace plan, prophecy, Saudi Arabia, Sheba Dedan, trend update. And here's all your SEO words. If you're interested in any of these categories, click on any of these categories. Again, we have articles, posts going back to 2010 on many of these topics. And links will be provided with all of these things in regards to if you want to read these individually or listen to them individually. So appreciate y'all taking the time. Wish you the best. Have a good one. We'll be in touch. Bye.